YouTube, what's happening? We back again with another installment of the Full Strength. On the Full Strength, we discuss Nikes, Jordans, and we ask the $1,000,000 question: is it worth the full strength or your hard-earned money? In many cases, these shoes are $180 upwards to $240, and with those 17s coming out next year, you're talking about $300. That's before tax. That would be what we call the full strength. When you're talking about resale, we don't advocate for resale on this channel, but for extreme circumstances. But yeah, full strength plus resale, you're talking about big money, for a pair of shoes anyway. So today, this is a little bit of a bittersweet video because we're talking about the Kobe Reverse Grinch 6. And in this video, I'm going to have to criticize Nike. Now, why am I going to criticize Nike? And feel free to use the timestamps if you just want to skip to the unbox. But if you're patient, trust me, it's going to all make sense. So Nike, the reason that I'm calling them out in this video is that they are keeping the sneakerheads, the real sneakerheads, you feel me, yourself, in limbo. They're keeping you and me in limbo because they have the opportunity to consistently keep quality, keep fire in stock consistently, because they have 40 shoes, at least 40, that they can release and that will sell out instantly. We know that for a fact. We know the black and red 11s are going to sell out instantly. We know the Concord 11s are going to sell out instantly. We know the Space Jam 11s are going to sell out instantly. We know the black and red 4s, not their reimagined mess. I think they probably will still sell out, but the originals, they're going to sell out. The white cement 4s, they're going to sell out. Let's take it to some Nikes. We know that the Kobe Grinches are going to sell out instantly. We know that the Royal Foam Posits are going to sell out instantly. We know the eggplants, they're going to sell out instantly. Now, there's a couple of other shoes that we could probably throw in there that we know for a fact when they drop, the Pearl Foam Posits, right? They're going to sell out instantly. We know that. We can probably name 30 more shoes at least that if they drop, they're going to sell out immediately. Now, I want you to think about a company that really has stopped innovating, because let's keep it 100. If you remember watching Back to the Future 2, that is, and Marty McFly put on them Nike Air Mags and they self-lace and he was riding on that hoverboard, he was like, oh, that's the future. That's going to be the future. You feel me? And Nike really isn't hitting you with a lot of self-lacing stuff. Maybe because they felt like the market didn't consume it or react to it positively immediately. But that doesn't mean that you stop doing it. Like, honestly, it shouldn't be that I got to get on eBay or Flight Club and look at some Nike Air Mags for 25 racks. Man, I ain't paying that. I'm not even thinking about paying that. Nike, that's your job. It's your job to make those widely available. You feel what I'm saying? So if they're not innovating, what are they doing? They are living off the past. And so you got a company that basically is living off of the 80s and 90s, because a large majority of what they release, they just released some Navy 3s. I was surprised. Most of them have sold out. When did those come out? 87, something like that. 87, 88. I think it was 87. So you're talking about a company that's living off of the past. Now, let's extrapolate that real quick. Sony, if they could sell you a original PlayStation 1 with the original discs, they would do it. Now, they do it now with the remasters. They're remastering games, but for the most part, they got to remake the game. Resident Evil, they got to redo it, redo the controls, redo the graphics. So it's some companies that get to live off the past, but they got to do a little bit more work. Nike don't have to do nothing but find the molds and remake the shoe. Now, again, why am I bashing Nike with this Kobe Reverse Grinch? Nike is a performance company. At least they used to be. I think now they're a lifestyle company, because if you were around in the 90s, you will remember that Nike did not have a stranglehold on fashion. You feel me? Everybody didn't wear Jordans. Reebok was right there with them. You had the Reebok pumps. When the Reebok pumps came out, they were a big deal. You feel me? When Reebok signed Allen Iverson and them questions came out, if you went to a playground or a gymnasium in America, somebody was hooping in them. You feel me? The Shaq Gnosis, all that. The Felines. Fila was up there with them, right? Now, I would say that Adidas probably came a little bit later. I will say I don't really remember Adidas being that big a deal in the 90s. I don't think it was until they signed T-Mac and Kobe and them in the late 90s. But that's not to say that they wasn't up there with them. I just don't remember that. Who I do remember, and some of y'all, if y'all was around, y'all will remember them too, and one. From a basketball perspective, I would say from 95 or 6 up until probably 2000, and one from a basketball sense was probably just as big, if not bigger, than Nike. Why is that? And one tap into streetball. And real quick, because I want to try to take y'all back to that time, that Nike commercial where they dribble in the basketball. By that point, streetball was becoming commercial because Nike wanted to tap into that streetball element. But And1 had been doing it. So real quick, we're going to take a look at some of the best streetball movies of all time. Now, real quick, you're not going to see Hoosiers on this because we're talking about streetball. You're not really going to see Love and Basketball, even though that's an all-time basketball movie. Love and Basketball, really, if you're talking about it, it really wasn't streetball, I would argue. It wasn't really streetball. Celtic Pride, you feel me? Movies like that, you're really not going to see it. Space Jam, we're not including that in this list.
Cool shoes.
Now, if we do an all-time basketball list movie, they're going to be on there. Now, let's start with Sunset Park. Good movie. If you've never seen it, you're going to see I think the Kamikazes in there, the Reebok Kamikazes, the Sean Kemps. You're going to see those making an appearance in there. Might see a couple of other, sneakers from the 90s making an appearance in there. White Men Can't Jump. Classic movie. You feel me? I think that was more late 80s, maybe early 90s. The year escapes me that when it came out. But you're going to see some old school Nikes in there. And what I'm saying is that in these movies, you're going to see people at the park. You're going to see people at the gym. They used to wear these shoes at the parks, at the rec centers. And there was this is when basketball was really, it was becoming global. But if you're talking about here in America, basketball was really becoming probably the premier sport. You feel me? If you lived in New York, you know what I'm talking about. If you lived in Chicago, you know what I'm talking about. Really, if you lived in Indiana, just about any state in the country, you know what I'm talking about. Because that's what we did back then. We went outside, we played basketball, and you wore whatever you had. Your Nikes, your Reeboks, your And1s, whatever. So White Men Can't Jump. Excellent movie.
I'll tell you what. I'll pick any player here. Matter of fact, I'll pick the worst fucking player here for $500. Excuse me? Huh? Excuse me? I'll let you pick my teammate. How's that?
Raymond, man, look at the chump, man. Give him the chump.
Oh, no. Hell no. See, white boys don't count. No, you have to give me a brother.
Check it out if you ain't never seen it. All right, next we got Rebound, The Legend of Earl the Goat, Manigault. Talked about this in another video briefly. Earl the Goat could jump up, touch the top of the backboard with his right hand, take $1 off with his left hand, put 4 quarters change at the top of the backboard. He did this all at the same time. Don Cheadle in that. You got to watch that. You understand? You got to watch that one. The GOAT. That's where this how people are talking about the GOAT. The GOAT really started with him. They was calling him the GOAT first. He was the original GOAT. If you ain't never seen Rebound, you need to go check that one out. Okay. Let's take it to On Hollow Ground. I'm gonna include a link to that one. This was a documentary that came on TNT. I want to say that was in '97, and it followed it's followed a lot of guys that would eventually be on the And1 mixtapes. Future, Half Man, Half Amazing, Main Event, all of them dudes, and it follows. I think it's the Entertainers Basketball Classic. I think, but you're starting to see that where this is when street ball is kind of starting to bubble up, and it's making a name for itself. You know, there's a market for it. Okay, and then that brings me to the And1 mixtape series, and I would say 1 through 3. And what I have here in my hand is And1 mixtape volume 2, the remix. I personally like this better than the regular volume 2. Now they're pretty much the same. The music is different. I want to say Tony Touch did all the music on this one. I don't know if he did all the music on all of them, but I got this in the mail when I bought a pair of And1s. I bought them from Foot Action. They threw the mixtape in the box, didn't even know it was coming. You feel me? And if you've never seen the And1 mixtapes, I'm gonna include the links to 1, 2, and 3 because they are on YouTube. Again, when these first came out, if you was hooping like that, and even if you wasn't hooping, you was watching that. You was watching that, and then you was going outside and you was trying to emulate that. Next, we're gonna talk about Soul in the Hole. Excellent movie. Again, it's gonna be similar to that On Hollow Ground. This follows some cats out of New York. They hooping street ball. Again, this is all street ball, and I'm gonna land my plane in a minute. And I'm gonna bring it all back together. Soul in the Hole, excellent documentary. Check it out if you haven't seen it. These boys was hooping. I'm talking about they dunking. Some of the dunks they doing on pavement. If you an aspiring hooper, you in high school, middle school, whatever, even in college, if you can dunk on the pavement, you can dunk in a gym. You can dunk off that soft wood in any gymnasium. So a lot of, the cats that paid their dues hooping, if you think about Stephon Marbury, Allen Iverson, all of them, KG, all of them, they came up during that era of street ball. You know what I'm saying? And I guess it wasn't called street ball back then, but that's where you honed your skills. So Soul in the Hole, excellent movie. We're going to include a link to that one. We got 3 more to go. Hoop Dreams. Probably the best basketball documentary of all time. It's a bit long. It's about 3 or 4 hours long, but it follows 2 kids from their freshman year of high school through senior year and kind of tracks, their development and their success. And, it's just a great movie. It's going to give you a real feel of what the 90s was like because it follows them from, being a kid up until they grow into, a man. So that's a great movie to kind of get a feel for what I'm talking about because of how long it is. Okay. Next, we got Above the Rim. I don't even really have to say nothing about that. Classic movie. Tupac in that. What's my guy from The Wire? Avon Barksdale. Wood Harris. He in that. Excellent movie, man. And what happens at the end, that was a normal occurrence. Not the glorified violence, but even when you watch White Men Can't Jump, there was plenty of times that shootouts happened at playgrounds after bad. Like, that's how real it was. So, Above the Rim, classic movie. I hope you've seen it, but if you haven't, you need to go, rent that or go check that out. And then you already know what, number one, that really wasn't no ranking, but he got game.
Moses parted the Red Sea, son, not Jesus.
Moses, Jesus, whatever.
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 He Got Game. You already know. You've probably already seen it. If you haven't, you need to go watch that. And then He Got Game, one of the elements of it was the sneakers. Now, we're going to talk about He Got Game a little bit more in depth in a later video, so be on the lookout for that. Now, why did I go through all that? We 15 minutes in. Why haven't I looked at these shoes yet? This is where Nike is dropping the ball, and this is where Nike is pissing me off. I know, I can almost guess that because I'm hooping these shoes on Saturday. When I hoop in these shoes, I am going to hypothesize that they are going to be excellent hooping shoes. Tremendous hooping shoes. And I bet you that it is going to be better to hoop in than anything right now that they have on Nike.com. And yet, let's say you hoop. Let's say you in high school. Let's say you in college. Let's just say you like to hoop at the rec center, whatever, whatever you do for your exercise. If you didn't win these, you got to look at paying $450, $500 on the secondary market to get a quality pair of functional basketball shoes. That don't make no sense from a company that is known for making performance footwear. Now, I just went through the 90s and the late 80s. The difference is that when I was coming up, these shoes were not unobtainable. Just about everybody you knew had a pair of these shoes on, whatever you want to call them, Jordans, Nikes, Reeboks, whatever. When And1 came, it was a mixture of what you saw, but a lot of why these shoes are nostalgic is that we wore them and we actually played in them. Like I got old little league basketball videos and even some high school videos. I know what year it is based on the shoes that people are wearing. I know what year it is because of that. Now, I haven't been to the gym at least in 3 years seeing somebody wearing Kobe's. I haven't seen nobody with my own eyes hooping in Grinch Nikes. And I don't think it's because they don't want to. I think it's because they can't get their hands on them. So Nike, y'all need to quit playing. All of the heat that y'all got from the 90s, we know that everything ain't going to sell out. Y'all can hit us with some of them shoes from the 90s, from the 2000s, and y'all need to keep them in stock. Like y'all keep Air Force Ones or Air Max 90s and all of that, like y'all keep them in stock. You feel me? Let's go to Nike.com real quick, man. And let's just see what kind of basketball options they got. And then we're going to get into these shoes. Let's run to Nike.com one time. And then we're going to unbox the shoe and get what y'all came here to see. Because I know that's what y'all came here to see. But it pisses me off that, you know, I hoop 2 or 3 times a week. And it's a challenge for me to find comfortable shoes, to find shoes that I think look good, and shoes that I feel like are going to be functional. It's hard for me to do that. The last pair of Kobe's I had was the high top Kobe 9s. And guess what? If I want another pair of Kobe 9s, I got to trick off the full strength. Now this is Nike.com. Let's take a look at this. Nike GT Cut 2s. They don't really look all that hard. These look okay. Nike GT Jump 2s, but I don't really know nothing about them. GT Hustles there. Cosmic Unities. These KDs look straight. You know, these just kind of look like knockoff Kobe's. These LeBrons look all right. You know, here goes some Kobe's that's coming out, 190. But, I mean, none of this compared to, you know, the shoes that I came up hooping in. You talking about the KGs, the Tim Duncans. You talking about the Gary Paytons. Man, just bring them back. Just bring them back, man, because none of this is hard to me. This ain't it. Because if I had the opportunity to get them KGs, or I had the opportunity to get them gloves, them Air Nike gloves, it ain't no question. So Nike, y'all dropping the ball, man. Y'all dropping the ball. Y'all got a 10-year run of shoes that y'all can keep in stock that are basketball shoes, rather than this mess y'all putting out. Now, without further ado, let's get to the Kobe reverse Grinches. Let's take a look at the box. You got the Mamba Snake, real clean. You got the Kobe signature, size 13, Kobe 6 Proto. No other, you got the Nike branding there. And it's not embossed, but it definitely, the texture feels different when you touch the Mamba and the Nike check. You got your, I guess this is copyright stuff, box made in China. And then you got nothing on this side. All right. And it does have, I guess, the same pattern on the box. I don't know if you can see that, but the shoe, I imagine the shoe is going to have that same pattern. Yeah, you can kind of see it right there in the light. All right, here we go. And this is my first time opening these, so y'all, I'm seeing them at the same time as y'all. Yeah, they tough. They tough. I didn't think I was going to like them because these are not, I will say this, these are not as hard as the Grinches. They aren't as hard as the Grinches. I will, because that green, this being green with the red laces is something about them. But these are these are close. These are close. They're not a home run, but I'll say it's a triple. The first thing I notice is how light this shoe is. This is what pisses me off, is that A good quality hooping shoe like this is so hard to come by. And I feel for you if you missed on these and you looking on the secondary market. I just seen one on eBay last night going for $450. As I hold them in my hand, they're not $450, man. Why are they not $450? I'm pretty sure the shoes was made in China or somewhere like that. They mass produce. They, if I had to guess, they're not handmade. Like, what are you paying $450 for? Now, if you just like the coat, if you just like the shoe, hey, I'm not casting no judgment on that. But see, for me, I look at things for face value. I got to look at it for what it's worth. It probably costs Nike, let's just say on the high end, it costs them $20 to make this shoe. Right. And we know that every business, if you're in business, you understand that there's a markup. But I'm not going to pay somebody else that's just capitalizing off of my demand, something that I like, and I'm going to run them $450. Can't do it. And that's where you got to start holding these companies accountable. Like Nike, y'all know people want these Grinches, man. It shouldn't be this hard to come up on them. Again, you got the Nike Zoom right there. I don't know if this is carbon fiber or what this is, but the shoe feels light. And I'm a hoop. This is going to be a 2-part video. I'm gonna make a video right after I hoop in these on Saturday, and let you know scale of 1 to 10 how excellent these shoes are. Right now, I'm hooping in some Jordan 9s, and higher top, but considerably heavier shoe than these. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get the scale and weigh these real quick. Okay, so I tried to weigh them, and this scale was not even registering. So by my math, both shoes together are less than a pound, which is a good thing if you're a hooper. So, 16 ounces in a pound? Something like that. Yeah, I think it's 28 grams in an ounce. 16 ounces in a pound. So yeah, these probably are maybe 12 ounces, something like that. They feel very light. Can we get the soles out? Let's see. Soles glued on in here. The soles feel like they glued on. Let's see. Let's see here. I want well, ironically enough, with this rant, it says in here, I want a shoe. That's what it says. Ironically enough. Let's see. What's it says here? Mold. Let's see. Molds to my foot. I think that's what it says. I want a shoe that molds to my foot. Well, Kobe, and I feel that. But Nike, I want a shoe that I can get. You feel me? That's what I want. And I'm sure all of my fellow sneakerheads, brothers and sisters, I'm sure that they feel the same way. Like, it's ridiculous. Now, let's ask the $1 million question. Are these shoes worth the full strength? $190. Yeah, they worth that. But we know you're not going to be able to get them for $190 right now unless they hit you with a restock. And the way they've been doing the Kobe's, they haven't really been restocking them the same way that they restock the J's. Are they worth paying resale? $450. Absolutely 100% no. No, they're not. Let's hope for a restock. Let's hope that Nike comes to their senses and says, you know what? We're a performance company, because they're getting too into being a lifestyle company. Like, I get that people don't really hoop in their J's no more. I still hoop in my J's. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'll throw some on with a pair of jeans, but at the same time, I will lace them up and give work, because they still, at their essence, they still hooping shoes. These Kobe's, in many respects, are better hooping shoes than, I would say, most Jordans. These are tremendously, because I think I had these in the black and white colorway when they originally came out. It was like black and white, Pretty much just an all black and white shoe with black laces. So I've only had 2 pair of Kobe's. If you count the Huarache 2K4s, then I would say 3. But this is a 30-minute video. I apologize. I apologize for the length. But Nike needs to do much better about giving the people, whether you want to just wear them with jeans or whether you're trying to hoop in them. Because I couldn't imagine being in high school or having a kid that's in Little League. They want the Kobe's because they see all of the NBA players wearing them, and you can't get them. And you got to trick off the full strength. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. Nike, y'all got to quit playing, because at some point, the consumer, y'all ain't gonna be able to be in this position. Y'all living off the past. What happens when people don't care about the past no more because they can't get them? Because I can tell you right now, most of my collection that I sold off, I got it back. So, you know, I'm waiting on the black and red 12s. I'm waiting on the taxis, not that reverse taxi mess. I'm waiting on the Columbia 11s, the Obsidian 12s. It's a few more that I'm waiting on, and that's it. I'm done. Save, a retro release here and there. So y'all need to get with the program. You feel me? We need them Gary Paytons. We need them KGs. I know y'all been hitting us with the Jason Kidds, but we need the original Jason Kidd colors. You feel me? Who am I forgetting? I know I'm forgetting some people, but y'all need to start Huarache 2K4s. We need that. We need the 2K4s. Y'all need to quit playing. Y'all need to just make the Huarache 2K4s available. Just make them available. That's one of your best hooping shoes of all time. Nike Shox BB4s, the Vince Carters. They need to be available. These Kobe's, these Protos, these 6s. Anyway, I apologize for the rant. Shout out to everybody that's been liking, commenting, subscribing. I really appreciate y'all. This has been the Full Strength Reverse Grinch Kobe 6. Excellent shoe if you can get your hands on it. I will be making another video reviewing the on-court performance, but just bringing it out of the box, quality. You got your scales. I mean, y'all know what it is. Anyway, that'll do it for this installment. Be on the lookout for part 2 of this video, and also be on the lookout for the interview that I have with my my partner, the Fresh Prince, the Guru, and got a couple of other things in the works. So be on the lookout for that. Again, this was the Full Strength. Hope y'all enjoying y'all's day and y'all's upcoming holidays and all of that, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.
So the first thing I want to do is I want to try to create space. So what I normally like to do is I like the V cut. I just bring them up here, get my spot, create space, catch. And once I catch, I square up right away. This way I create that cushion and that separation that I need. It gives me opportunity to read the court, see what's going on behind him. Most of the time I don't concern myself with this guy because I know I can beat this guy. So if he's in front of me, I'm looking behind to see where his help is from. At the same time, he can't see behind him, so he doesn't know what's going on. So I can use anything that I want right here. I can raise up, I can shoot it, I can penetrate. In this particular instance, on my jab step, I'm jabbing just to create space, to see what he does, see if he makes a mistake. If he opens up too much and there's no help behind him, I'm gonna go to the basket. If I jab and he opens up and there's help behind him, I'll just raise up and shoot it.